Lovelies, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for May 25th. And today is the sky is very, very active. There is a lot going on in the sky. This energy is extreme. It's Venus in Gemini conjunct with the Sun in Gemini. Extreme energy. So, I want to take a look. I want to talk to you about why I believe it is. So let's talk about some of the energies that play just in general, like the astrological aspects, So I already mentioned that the Sun was conjunct with Venus, but the Sun is also squaring off with Neptune and Pisces. That's that kind of, the Sun is kind of like with Neptune and Pisces, you're not idealizing, or you can't be overly, you have to have a very realistic look about what you desire. There's an extreme in this idealism versus what you deeply desire. There's very, very extreme. It can square off in this energy and give you some sort of realizations. We also have Mars in Sagittarius, which is still in retrograde. It's opposing the Sun and opposing Venus. So there's still some sort of past situation that for some of you makes you still act in extremes. It's an area where I do not feel like you have the motivation to move away from it quite yet. And so what is bringing forth is just the conversation about the extreme. So it's an opposition, not a square, but it's significant. Now, the most important aspect that I think today has in it is that Jupiter in Virgo is going to be at 13.39 degrees. It's going to be squaring off with Saturn in Sagittarius, which is in retrograde, and it's going to be at 13.44 degrees. So it's just almost an exact square. This means, hello, this is extremes. This is shit. That's what I gotta say to it. Just holy crap. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's in an earthbound energy. This earthbound energy is in a trine. Now, flip side to that, beautiful harmonious flow of energy, the other extreme is Saturn in Sagittarius is squaring off. It's an immutable T-square, has been for some time. It is really asking you to be extremely realistic about moving forward. The extreme in this energy is we have the past and the future. We have the planet of expansion versus the planet of limitation and obstacle and control. You can see how this energy would make things go in extremely different directions. This energy has the ability to split you. You could have thought you were going in one direction and holy shit, Jupiter expands a crack into a giant crevices, into an earthquake into your life and suck all those hopeful mindsets down into it, and you have to rebuild, and you have to be extremely realistic. You have to set up patterns that have the ability to create longevity and stability, and you are not facing these patterns. Many of you, this is the end and the beginning of the karmic journeys. This is either I'm going toward a karmic journey yet again because I decided to make another mistake because I excessively pleasure sought, and that pleasure seeking is now putting me back on the wheel because I just couldn't resist it. Or it's I'm moving forward, I'm expanding opportunity, I'm expanding hope, I'm creating powerful rituals and routines. It's creating, the ability of longevity in my life. I'm getting off the wheel, I'm moving toward the future. The North Node is in Virgo, the South Node is in Pisces. So we want to be moving toward Virgo energy. Virgo energy is routine, rituals, habits, mindsets. It's health. Which way do you want to go? Because this today has the ability to test the extreme, and we're talking opposite pendulums, buddy. We're not talking about gray at all. We're talking about extremes. It's cut and dry, black and frackin' white, man. And anytime you get into black and white thinking, absolutely opens you up to see eventually, as your pendulum starts to swing closer, the gray area, the beauty of gray, which I, for the love of God, could not honestly see for many years. I went to counseling because I am a militant mindset. I am an Aries moon. I was raised in a military family. My whole entire family was in the military. I was extremely black, extremely white, wrong, right. Boundaries are defined, ethics are defined, morals are defined. I never veer, I don't fall off the path. Well, guess what? That is not realistic. It is not adaptable. It is not being reinforced by the universe, because if we're really true to ourselves, we're not working in extremes at all of black and white. What we are is working in grounding our energy and just being at peace, submitting when we got to submit. We've got to firm when we got to firm. Like we're a little bit more realistic about these extremes. So it is a very unpredictable day. Unrealistic promises or over-exaggerated hopeful outcomes may get a dose of painful realizations. For some of you, somebody could have been blowing smoke up your bum, and they have blown it so far up there that you're just spewing it out your nose. I don't know why I thought it lightens it. I could draw that picture. It's so vivid in my head. So, I think for those of you that have a hard time resisting their self-indulgent tendencies, I think today all shit's going to hit the fan. There's no hiding the extreme in your personality today. The realization is that Saturn is going to bring it forth. It's going to ask you, it's going to force you to face what you need to control in an extreme way, because of this opposition between Jupiter and Saturn. I think that this energy is important because it will force you to see areas in your life where I think you refuse to moderate, such as excessive vanity, embellishing the truth, promises that are unrealistic to get what you want, but you tell people what they want to hear so that you can get that immediate dose of whatever it is you're looking for. So you're like selling, it's kind of like it's kind of like love bombing and narcissist, like they'll tell you everything that you need to know when they have a whole hidden agenda that they're doing on the side. Promising what is unrealistic, I believe, is very dangerous in this energy. Watch what happens to your life if you start to do that. Just be mindful. Saturn is in a bad frackin' mood. And Saturn's mood can be easily expanded by Jupiter's shenanigans. These are the two ultimate teachers. This is the karmic teacher, and this is the opportunistic teacher. Both of these can be, we have one that, Jupiter's benefic, Saturn's malefic. But don't you dare think that Jupiter cannot be one hell of a malefic source in your life. If you are habitually, because it's in Virgo, if you are habitually repeating cycles that are out of control, Jupiter can expand that. Dude, you do not want that crap in your life. This is some scary energy in it to me. The possibility for some deeply, deeply difficult, challenging energy for some of the people out there. I believe that Jupiter is causing those involved to consider their self-indulgent routines and rituals, especially how they impact others. Virgo energy is about bringing the resources to people to help them recover on a day-to-day basis in their lives. It's bringing the water to people who don't have water. It's bringing the resources to people that don't have, like Hurricane Katrina. It's refining FEMA, let's say. So, I mean, and making those processes much better so that they're much more effective in case we have catastrophe. I mean, that's all very elevated Virgo mindset. This is the healer. Virgo energy is a healing energy. So some of us have to be pushed to an extreme OD for us to be like, oh my God, I freaking have a drug problem. Some of us have to have that. We have to lose control. We have to have resistance for us to make powerful changes moving forward. We also need to have some definite boundaries reconsidered, right? Some of us are working boundaryless, and some of us are defining our boundaries. So imagine, some of us are trying to control our outcomes, get off the hamster off the wheel, redefine our boundaries, and some of us are still working as decadent, self-indulgent creatures that don't give a crap about anybody. So those worlds are clashing, I think, for some people. I think the positive vibration definitely is for those that are grounded, caught up in this gorgeous Earth Trine, and they are willing to see a new perspective moving forward. We have this Grand Earth Trine that's being stimulated to move away from karmic paths that no longer serve us. Then I believe that Neptune in Pisces is going to go in, it's going to sextile Pluto and sextile Mercury in Taurus. Sorry, every time I get really negative energy, my nose gets so itchy, so I know that there's some negativity coming. But anyhow, Neptune in Pisces is idealistic. It's hopeful. It's the big picture. It's bringing forth awareness. It's manifesting strength from the deep within your unconsciousness. It's merging reality with the idealistic world that you create, and it's sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. So what that suggests to me, and sextiling Mercury, what that suggests to me is that what you value, I think for many of you, is just some mental stability, some mental consistency. You want to idealize, but you want to be realistic. You have a hopeful mindset, and so you have concepts that you want to manifest out of thin air, out of your, authentic voice. And so some of you may be getting very intense signals on how to do so because you are really deeply aligned with energy. This is a very spiritual energy. Very, very, I think that you are very at one with Earth energy if you have this type of energy, like this positivity flowing into you. The sun's going to be conjunct with Venus, blessings, bountiful energy. It allows you to flourish, hopeful, optimistic. You see the good in life. You're attaching to hope. I believe that also we have Jupiter in Virgo conjunct with the North Node. To me, this also suggests just we're going in the right direction. We're ascending. We're getting to that next level in our thought processes, in our mind, on our karmic journey. There's a lot of beautiful passion in today that can be enjoyed if your perspectives are about moving forward and grounding your energy and being very, very compassionate. I think it's like when we love ourselves and when we love somebody deeply, we just start to attract a lot of love into our lives. And I think that this energy is about that. It's about not seeking comfort in fear and denying what your soul is put on this purpose for, was to really experience pleasure. But it's refining the word pleasure. I think refining the word pleasure means that we're refining it and we're in perspective about what pleases us. We're looking for consistent sources of normal pleasure versus highs and lows in pleasure. So for some of us, if we're on that track, gorgeous, spiritual, enlightening energy, very, very beautiful, very, very magnificent for some of you. I think if you're valuing moving forward and away from karmic cycles that no longer serve you, some of you are going to be very focused on the duality of this beautiful sun in Gemini. Duality has the blessing of there's definitely a malefic source to a duality of energy. The duality of energy can make you swing from highs and lows. It can make you either excessively pleasure seek or extremely depressed. Like, it can make you just swing in these extremes. Duality, however, has the ability to take a look at the yin and the yang, two different perspectives, validate each source, and use logic and reason to meet in the middle. You can also be intuitively guided and also logic and reason guided as well, and you can validate each of those sources equally, and you can meet in the middle. Being adaptable means that you are open to receive input, as well as, enjoy your life experience and apply it to what you're receiving. You're validating the reception of energy, but you're also validating your significant life purpose and what you've learned from your karmic cycles. So there's a beauty in these extremes, and it can be found. It can be. I know that I am just, when I'm not in an extreme, an Aries moon extreme, when I'm just in my normal Gemini rising, it's like, you want me to move to a different classroom? All my stuff's in that classroom? Okay. You want me to, I know we have this strict rule, but I had something come up, can we change this rule? Because I need this in order to be able to be successful at something. Say I've got a rule about being to class on time, but say somebody had their kid sick, and so they had to find a different babysitter because that babysitter didn't want to do it. Am I going to allow that to get in the way of their education? No, I'm not. I'm not going to get all caught up in the rule of being on time at that exact moment, and I'm going to dock people. No, it's about I'm extremely understanding. In turn, that gains trust and acceptance from people. It builds something different. Rules are definite. Boundaries are definitely a way to go. But if those boundaries are so tight, they don't allow people to grow within those boundaries. The whole point of boundaries is to set a consequence, but not to limit growth. And I think that that's the importance in the extremes that we're talking about as well. For some of the people that are caught in the negative and the extreme in this and the squaring off between Jupiter and Saturn, I've set a boundary and I'm trying to control a source, and therefore it's this, whatever source I'm trying to control is resisting, and it creates just this explosion of energy of opposition, extreme opposition. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again tomorrow.